Welcome to this week's episode of the Speak English with a British Accent podcast. On this week's show, some British style intensifiers, some advice for native Chinese speakers and the RP accent, and some more help with silent letters. Let's crack on. Section 1. Awfully terribly jolly. British style intensifiers explained. In this section we're looking at a very British habit, sounding dramatic while pretending not to be. Enter intensifiers. What is an intensifier? Well, an intensifier is a word we use to strengthen an adjective or an adverb. So instead of saying I'm busy, we say I'm terribly busy. Same meaning, more emotion, much more British. Unlike very, which is doing a lot of heavy lifting these days, British English loves polite-sounding intensifiers that secretly exaggerate everything. Let's meet the favourites. 1. Awfully, awfully, meaning very, extremely, often polite or apologetic. I'm awfully sorry about the delay. That's awfully kind of you. She was awfully upset about it. So, pronunciation notes, it's a long awfully, not awfully. And it's a light, quick ending, awfully. It sounds gentle, delivers impact quietly. Number 2, terribly, terribly, formal, slightly dramatic. I'm terribly busy this week. He was terribly disappointed. That sounds terribly complicated. So, has got that short sound, terribly, terribly. Don't overstress it. Number 3, dreadfully, dreadfully. Often negative and slightly old-fashioned. I'm dreadfully tired. She was dreadfully embarrassed. The weather's dreadfully dull today. Dreadfully, a clear dr cluster at the beginning. Excellent for complaining politely. Number 4 is rather, rather, posh alert here, means quite, fairly, very, depends on the tone. That's rather good, actually. She's rather clever. It's rather cold in here. So rather, we've got that long A, rather. Number 5, jolly, jolly, meaning very cheerful, very old school British. That was jolly nice of him. We had a jolly good time. She's jolly pleased with the results. Jolly. Friendly sort of rhythm with this word. Then 6 is vastly, vastly, meaning by a large amount, often with improvement. Things have vastly improved. The new version is vastly better. Her confidence has vastly increased. Now, with this word, we barely hear that T, vastly. It's calm, confident, and slightly impressive. OK, so I want you to copy me saying these out loud. I'm awfully sorry about that. She's rather good at this. Things have vastly improved. Slow, calm, with polite confidence. If you want to sound more British instantly, use fewer verys and more awfullies rather than terribly. You'll sound understated, polite, and quietly dramatic the British way. Section 2. Chinese speakers, final consonants and clusters. If British people sometimes say, sorry what, after you finish a sentence, this is often why. Final consonants. For many Chinese speakers, word endings are softened, shortened, or disappear completely. Now in RP British English, the end of the word matters just as much as the beginning. Final consonants. Don't swallow the ending. In English, the final sound often changes the meaning. So compare thin with thing, ran with rang, sin with sing. If the final consonant isn't clear, a British listener may hear a different word or feel the word never quite finished. So what I want you to focus on, hold the ending for a fraction longer. Don't add a vowel after it. And let the word land, not fade. Now, adding clusters, which is more than one consonant at the end, clusters are where things really fall apart. English loves endings like nd, which we hear in hand, send, and st, which we hear in first, last, or mp, like lamp, jump. The common problem is only one sound survives and the others quietly vanish. For example, hand sounds like han. Last sounds like la. Help sounds like hell. To British ears, that sounds unfinished. So try this, slow at first, then at normal speed. Say each word and touch every consonant. So hand, hand, last, last, help, help. You don't need to make them loud, you just need to make them present. So this isn't about being more British, it's about letting the word fully exist. Clear endings equals clearer meaning, more confident rhythm, and fewer misunderstandings. Section 3. British ways to express doubt without ever saying you're wrong. In this section, we're exploring a truly British skill, expressing doubt while sounding polite, reasonable, and faintly apologetic. In British English, we rarely say, "that's wrong." Instead, we say something that sounds gentle, but still communicates serious scepticism. So let's decode 10 very British ways to express doubt politely with some pronunciation help so you can sound doubtful correctly. So why British English loves polite doubt? Direct disagreement can feel a bit much. So British English wraps doubt in softeners, hesitations, understatement, and the occasional, "I might be wrong, but..." The words are polite, the meaning is clear. So I've got 10 polite British ways to express doubt for you. Number 1, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure, meaning I don't think that's right. I'm not entirely sure that's accurate. I'm not entirely sure this will work. You can stress the sure in these sentences. Sure. I'm not entirely sure. Or entirely. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. Number 2, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. Meaning you haven't persuaded me. I'm not convinced that's the best option. I'm afraid I'm not convinced. So I'm is weak. I'm not convinced. And it's a crisp, vinced ending. Vinced. It sounds as though there's a t at the end, not an ed ending. Convinced. Number 3, I have my doubts. I think this is unlikely. I have my doubts about the plan. I must admit I have my doubts. There's a clear diphthong in doubts. 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 Number 4, I'm not sure that quite works, or I'm not sure that quite makes sense, meaning it doesn't work. I'm not sure that quite works. I'm not sure that quite makes sense. So quite, it's got a long diphthong, quite, ite sound in there. Number 5, that may be true, but, meaning I'm about to disagree. That may be true, but I see it differently. That may be true, but there are risks. May be true. Gentle tone. Pause before but. I'm not persuaded means I don't buy it. I'm not persuaded by that argument. I'm afraid I'm not persuaded. 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 Can you hear that glide in there? Sway. Swayed. It's quite a formal phrase. Number 7. I'm slightly sceptical, meaning I really doubt this. I'm slightly sceptical, to be honest. Or, I remain slightly sceptical. Sceptical, not sceptical. It's got that sk at the start. Sceptical. Number 8, I wonder if that's the case, meaning I don't think it is. I wonder if that's the case. I do wonder about that. So a falling intonation, I wonder if that's the case, injects a bit of doubt. Number 9, I'm not sure I agree, means I disagree. I'm not sure I agree, actually. I'm not sure I'd agree with that. Agree, agree. So we've got that schwa at the start and a long E sound at the end. Agree. Number 10, that doesn't entirely add up, meaning something's wrong here. That doesn't entirely add up. The figures don't add up. Add up. Short clip sounds. It's polite, but it's pointed. So in British English, doubt lives in the intonation, not perhaps the vocabulary. Keep your tone calm, stress the content word, and let understatement do the work. British doubt whispers. That's why it's effective. Now, if you can express doubt politely, you can survive meetings, emails, British colleagues, and awkward conversations over tea, which, frankly, is most of life. Section 4. Silent letters strike again. The case of the missing L and W. Today's episode in the long-running British drama, Letters That Refuse to Be Pronounced, features 2 repeat offenders, silent L and silent W. They're written and they're visible. They are absolutely not invited to the pronunciation. So let's make sure your accent doesn't accidentally pronounce letters that Britain quietly agreed to ignore centuries ago. So what is a silent letter? A silent letter appears in spelling but is not pronounced. British English is full of them, often because pronunciation changed, the spelling didn't, and everyone politely pretended this was fine. Let's start with the silent L. In certain words, the L disappears completely, especially before F, K, M, D sounds, F, K, M, D sounds. So we've got the word half, spelt H-A-L-F, but we don't hear the L. Half, calm, palm, would, W-O-U-L-D, should, could, yolk, Y-O-L-K, yolk of an egg, talk, and walk. No L sound in any of those. So half is that long A sound, ah, half. No L sound in the middle, half. Calm and palm, relax the tongue, let the vowel do the work. Calm, palm. So if the L comes after an A or an O and before an F, K, M or D, it is often silent in RP. Let's move on to the silent W. a letter that sometimes turns up just to cause chaos. Here's some common silent w words. Write, as in write a letter. Wrong, wrong. Answer. To, as in the number 2. Who. Whole, as in the whole of it. Sword. So in those words, the W is doing absolutely nothing. So right and wrong. Right, wrong starts directly with that R sound. There's no W sound at all. It's not were right, right. Answer, it's that long R sound and a final schwa at the end. It's not answer, it's answer. To and who, to who. Clean, simple vowels. The silent W disappears entirely. So say these sentences out loud after me. I walked home and felt completely calm. She wrote the wrong answer. I should have known, but who really did? Focus in on the long vowels, no ghost letters, and a relaxed mouth shape. Silent letters are one of the biggest giveaways in an accent. Pronounce them and English immediately sounds foreign. Ignore them confidently and suddenly your speech sounds calmer, smoother and much more British, which is exactly what we're aiming for. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another episode. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget the British Accent Bundle is available at learningbritishaccent.com/bundle for all your British accent needs. Have a great week and bye for now.